So welcome guys, let's see what we got for this week. As usual, let's start with indexes. You know how I do it. Yes, the divergence forming actually, but we are under the VTT, still waiting for a pullback or something like that. Okay. See on daily basis. On weekly, I think it's clear. Also, as well, the old but new RSI. We also talk a bit about the RSI, which you find between your indicators. So the concept was here the same. We reached the target zone, actually what I said 2 or 3 weeks ago, kind of. And now we are looking for it. As the last weeks, actually, they weren't so liquid. But coming week, we are heading to an NFP week. I think, wait a second. They will hold NFP. Yes. So we can expect some liquidity from the market on Thursday as well. A lot of high impact news on Wednesday as well. A lot of news Tuesday, maybe. It will be interesting. And Monday, maybe pre-move. We can expect a pre-move, but not much to see on Monday. All right, what I see, we are heading towards the zero line in the following day, the opening, and we are above the VTT. Okay, the momentum right now turned green, and we got the buy signal as well. On the RSI, we are in the red, which is not a good sign, but still, see, I like this connection of these two candles heading like this, and this will be the new high, which means it's broken the structure right now. So what I'm expecting is arranging back to this point, or even previous high first, will be the first point. But if this happens, the destroyer will came above, I think about this level, so it will form a divergence as well. This is not a good sign on a weekly basis because we got the cross, but there is still maybe the first quarter of the week we can expect a bull and then a further bear, but we will confirm this on the XY. So right now the USD CAD, I see the USD dominating if I compare the sides. Okay, the Australian, New Zealand dollar. That was a nice move as well. So, we are under the zero line. There is a clear bearish move. The RSI is on the red side, so even if we get a pullback, I don't think this level will be broken. So wait for retest, or let's let the market do whatever he wants to do, but wait for the retest and go with the trend, go to the downside. Okay, that's the second point. So right now, it was a big fall. Okay, it needs a correction. If you see in the last couple of weeks, like in 49 days. Okay, and let's see this period before was like 200 days. So there is a huge difference between the two prices. If you see that. So what I want to see, let's see on daily basis. It was actually a nice retest, but we didn't reach the trend line, which is maybe I draw something. Oh, my trend line is right. Okay. Maybe retest and pull back to the red zone would be nice as next step. And probably this was also the pullback, what I said also in the chat. And then the fall. What I want to see from the market right now, because we see the structural divergence coming in. Okay. As a retest or a pullback or something, maybe to this point, to the feed level. Okay, this will be nice. And if it comes back to this point, it's even better. Okay. But now we are looking for a correction. So the Australian dollar will be dominating, in my opinion. I have to change my mouse, guys. Anyways, or this, two targets. But don't forget, we are still under the zero line. Okay, there is much place to move. So, but we can't reject the divergence. Here was structural divergence as well from both sides. And you see what's happened with the market. Now I expecting the same, what in the other side. Okay. Euro GBP. The divergences from the last week kicked in, and I didn't see here Chaba right now, but if you remember, he asked about the GBP USD and what I said on the GBP USD. Anyways, he's not here. Maybe next time. I hope you enjoyed the ride. Right now, what I see is still maybe a correction have to come. What I see on the other side, you turn it into red. So even if we get a pullback or we are coming back in the price, this will stay red. And see, here is the previous high. If we don't break this point, it's about a good 60 pips on daily basis. So maybe this is too big. The destroyer, how it looks like now, is on a low point. But if this rise, then we will get a divergence, right? And we are also under the zero line. So this is also a good sign. Okay, so what I see right now is the Euro GPB. The GPB is dominating still. Let's see on weekly basis. Yeah, there is a clear bearish movement right now. Looking for the bears. And what I said also a couple of weeks ago, the GPB reached the all-time low against the GPB against the USD, sorry. So it needs also correction. Okay. All right, now let's look for the bearish movement, and this will be the next target. This point is about 130 pips. But you know, next week is a high liquidity, so a lot of things can happen. The Euro CHF turned into green, which is a good sign because I drew here last week a divergence bouncing, and we got the cross on the VVP plus, but we are still above the zero line, and I don't see either a divergence. The divergence correction, and now we see a convergence in the market. So we need to break the highest point on the destroyer, and as we see on the VV plus, we're crossing the zero line as well. It's time to break out from this structure. Although the RSI is in red right now. Okay. Still, don't forget there is a lot of news for next week. See on a monthly basis. Oh damn! Yes, it's time for a correction, but only for a correction, because if you see on a monthly basis, we are almost starting the month December. Here is the previous high on the destroyer, and the volume is already on the same level, but there is a huge difference, like a 500 pips difference. So even if this goes up, there will be a divergence. So it has to continue to fall, actually a long term. But you see, this is also a long way to go. You see, from 2008 heading down, and this is not the end. Not right now. The euro have to fall, like I said on the XY. We need still a correction. All right, we need still the correction. Although we broke above the under the zero line, need a correction, something to go back and then down, but maybe next week, because we got the structural divergence, we got the divergence on the destroyer. So what we saw USD CAD, the USD is dominating, and I think this is why this could be a nice pattern actually to make retest to this point and then the fall down. Okay. Looks nice. Don't forget, guys, here is the previous high on the destroyer. So even if the price goes back, there will be a divergence forming. Or we need a giant move from the DXY, and I don't think this will happen. How the market and the economy looks like. So for the USD, is not so bright. Let's see the AXY. We got a convergence on the AXY. This was from last week. Divergence, what I was talking about, and it's also rising actually. Because of this divergence, this was my first thought to come back to this point. But after I saw the destroyer and where the destroyer is, I said this point will be enough, and then an upwards movement. Okay, and actually I'm still waiting for an up movement. Oh, I switch it to the XY. I'm still waiting for an up movement. All right, there's place to go. Indeed, if the price turning around before this point, the previous high, then we will head into a divergence. But it's too early to say that, because the market can move even more. So it can be a convergence as well if the previous high breaks on the destroyer. Right, but right now I want to see a correction move from the AXY. And like you see on the weekly basis, this is a bullish movement, a bullish momentum right now. So yeah, the target point is first 38, the first target point. Then let's keep the 50. Let's see what the price does around this zone, and then we can react on that. Okay. Oh shit. Yes. The XY. AXY reached the target zone. And if the DXY now does his pullback, it will affect the AXY no matter what. So we're gonna see the reverse move. If you compare the DXY upwards movement or retest down, this is downwards movement, retest up. It's the same thing. Actually, I want to see the correction move from the AXY, like on the AXY. It's almost the same thing, actually. Okay. Maybe the DXY is more beautiful. Let's see on monthly basis. Look, here is the previous point on monthly basis, and the new month is starting in 3 days, 4 days. And we got the divergence here. So need to retest, and let's see how it reacts, how the price reacts on that, on the volume, because I want to see another divergence from the other side. Okay. It was a long bull movement, bullish movement. If you see the previous periods, green, red, and now it was like days some, yeah, more than, I think 2, 4, 5, 6. About 60 days in the green zone. Need a correction. Okay. The XY didn't get the correction. So I expected on 61. There was a little pullback actually, but that's nothing. What I see is structural divergence, which is beautiful. And if the price is turning tomorrow, then we will have a divergence as well. If the price continues to rise, we will have a convergence, and this breaks free actually. But like we saw in the Australian, New Zealand dollar, it's need to have a correction. So I think this doesn't gonna break yet. Okay, from the structural divergence as well. I think it's need more time for that. So this point. Okay. Something good. The AXY almost the same. Got the divergence, the continuation movement up. There's a previous high. There is a divergence on weekly basis to the downside. All right, so want to see this issue. To go down actually. If you see, there is bear trend right now in the past year, we're heading down. Let's see how the price reacts on this tomorrow. It's going to be an interesting week, actually. The SXY made a retest and then went up. And the divergence, like I drawed the last week. And you see it is. This is still in the same movement, right? There's a consolidation box, a very big consolidation box right now. And this still have the potential to rise. Actually, we got also the retest and the upwards move, and still have something in it. As I know, there is CPY on the CHF. Yes, the CPY on Thursday. So we're expecting a big move, and as you see, there is a lot of news on the CHF. No, mostly on Thursday. And the inflation rate, the CPY. Okay. Want to see how the destroyer reacts when it breaks previous high at this point. Because remember, this guys is, my opinion, a good trader. If he predicts the price, it's good. But how a trader reacts on the prices, only that is what matters, and not how he's predicting. Okay, the reacting. It's good to know what is the price, what the price wants to do, but only with a good reaction can we achieve success. We broke the zero line on the VV on the base, right? And I want to see a correction. I said last week we need a correction to go down and to rise, but the bakes were stronger than that. Although there was a bit correction in the start of the week, and after that got a skyrocket on the GBP. And then what an ugly line. Okay, but still, there is a bull movement. I want to raise the target at this point to 61, and then we're gonna need a correction after that. But on longer term, this is dangerous. We got two options. As the price slows down next week, then we will see a down movement. If the price breakthrough, then we will see a very long-term pound strength. I don't know why, not yet, but we will see something from England, something big maybe, which I don't know how to say that, but this is also something interesting. When I see a big movement, it's about to happen. There is behind the scheme something, I don't know, and after that, oh, that was the reason. So I want to see what's gonna be the reason for this. Interesting. Okay, on weekly basis, about the zero line, like I said, bullish momentum. Let's see, it was previous high. On daily basis, we got a divergence. There's still place to move to the upside. Okay, let's say XY. Beautiful. First, the weekly basis. I think it was previous high. Didn't break. What I said with this, the divergence kicked in after the retest on the trend line. And now about to going down was the previous point. There is a red momentum right now. We are around the zero line. There was a divergence last week. But still, I want to see this point to turn around and come back to this point, at least to this point. All right, because on the weekly basis, this is a big divergence. We can reject that. So even this is a smaller target. Maybe this will be enough. And which means as well, if I see this on weekly basis on the USD CAD, we see why we got a dominating pair with the USD, which makes sense actually. Okay, the GBP USD, and this was the pair what Chaba was asking for. And this was a small correction and it went up. I thought this will be a bigger correction, but didn't happen. Just sideways and then a couple of 100 pips up after that. So wait, I got also something on the US 30. So what I was looking for is divergence from the bottom, but also if the price, which we see right now, turning red around this point, and we see the same high on the oscillator. All right, and the price is on a higher point, which means we got a weak divergence. Okay, usually I don't trade on weak divergences, but if the DXY makes a correction, these have to also make a correction down. Okay, because when the DXY gets stronger, the Dow Jones is about to fall, something like that. Right? And what I see on the RSI as well, we are in green and we are on the overbought zone. On the VVV in the red momentum above zero line, but a structural, you see the divergence. Okay. So I would love to see a correction. It will be something big, around 2000 points. But yeah, this is the target point. Need a confirmation from the undersides, so you see the divergence, and I like to see this because you see this divergence, and even if the price goes up, here is the previous point. So let's show like this. Here is the previous point, and if the price is about to move up and it stops here at this point, let's say this point, then we will get a divergence from above, and which could make a strong reversal actually. Okay, because the price going on a higher point, but the destroyer getting a lower point. And you see, this is also if I look for the two about 50 days, this period was about 40 days, 43. Previous period was a smaller one, about 40. Okay, maybe, but maybe we'll see something. You see the structure. I don't even see the structural divergence in maybe a small one. If you see, it was the highest point on the VV, and it doesn't break that point. Right now, what we see, we are moving down, which is a good point, but from another side, it's not positive, because even if we got the structural divergence, we are making place for a bigger move. But I think that is, we need, first of all, get the down movement and continue up. Don't forget, guys, the recession is just begun. We are heading into it, 2023. Will be a good year with a lot of liquidity in the market. Let's see the gold. Which I drawed last week. Structural div, and a couple 100 pips went up, but we need a correction on the DXY. And if the DXY rise, I wouldn't have to say, should also go down. All right, we are in a bearish side of the market right now. Don't see divergence, we see a convergence. So even if we go down in the coming weeks, I don't think this point will be broken. So the point of the RSI is when there is a bigger movement and the price makes a correction and heading into this is here not so beautiful, but the next move more actually comes from here. Shouldn't turn it. So yeah, what I wanted to say is this: heading into the red, and when you see the divergence and the momentum on the VV plus, just react on the market. Okay, see the divergence, see the red RSI, just react on the market. Okay, and the other side, there was no divergence, only convergence. Here was a divergence. Okay, not here, we turned it into red as well. And same on the other pairs. Let's see on smaller time frames what I mean by this. And the setup on the RSI. Some of you guys, it depends on which trading style you have. You can use it on 5, which I think it's a good setup. C7 is the basic, the default. But for longer term, you can use the 10, which gives you bigger movements. And the correction, when the correction kicks in, you can jump on almost every divergence if you see to the upside or downside. See, I think this was a divergence. No, this point is 2 under the 0 line, signs coming together, and boom, this point fell down, and this is actually what I meant to fall down, make a correction, divergence, red, and continue move. Okay, just follow this pattern and you will be fine in both of the directions. So you don't need to have this move. If you have this move, it's okay. You got there was a divergence, so it's good. But this is more important than next, because you got the retest and the following move. All right. See a difference. Here was also kind of not really want to see an impulse correction, but 2 8 hours, 2 bigger candles, the correction, the divergence, and we are above the 0 line. I went up, same in the another direction. Previous high, this point comes higher, but see, there's a lower point around the 0 line, go down. So guys, just follow the structure. For those who are trading on smaller time frames or smaller targets, I will recommend the 5. Otherwise, 7 or 10. It's a good setup. All right, and trade when the signs coming together. Okay. All right.